Welcome to the Citi Newsroom. We're coming to you from the sole identification document for voter registration ahead of the 2024 polls.
Over the years, the guarantor system has presented us with several challenges. Unfortunately, we were unable to discard it much earlier due to the absence of a national identification card such as the one issued
the collection of road tolls to avert the rate at which articulator trucks use some lanes leading to toll booths as parking and resting spaces.
Some of them comes, maybe the agent will call them and they will go. Some will come today and go today. Some will park about, let's say, 2 to 3, 4 days they are there.
Also in the bulletin, government reiterates its commitment to prosecute Aisha Wang to send a strong signal to all persons involved in Galamsey.
I can report to you and the country that the prosecution, the state, is called 5 witnesses as we speak, and the prosecution is going to call a 6th witness and at the next agenda date. And that should tell you that the prosecution is being waged in a very spirited manner.
And later, pressure mounts on the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria to cancel the 2023 presidential election results.
If you have not transmitted those results, it means that you have actually not conducted the election under the very law that we all applaud. So the right thing to do is for the INEC chairman to truly go forth and cancel the elections.
Now, in our first story, the Electoral Commission, EC, has justified plans to make the Ghana card the sole identification document for voter registration ahead of the 2024 polls. Now, briefing Parliament on the proposed constitutional instrument for the next general elections, the EC boss, Jean Mensah, said the CI seeks to promote continuous registration of voters and will allow for an all-year-round registration of eligible voters at its district offices. There is more in the following report.
The Electoral Commission chairperson Jean Mensah appeared before the Committee of the Whole of Parliament on Tuesday to brief the House on
the continuous registration of voters as part of our regular activities. As such, our officers in the field will be fully engaged all year round. Mr. Speaker, another significant feature of this draft constitutional instrument is the proposal to adopt the Ghana card as the sole source of identification for any person who wishes to register as a voter. This implies that the guarantor system, which hitherto allowed a registered voter to vouch for the citizenship and age of prospective applicants, will no longer be relied upon as part of our registration exercise. The reason is that over the years, the guarantor system has presented us with several challenges. Unfortunately, we were unable to discard it much earlier due to the absence of a national identification card such as the one issued by the NIA. The challenges with the guarantor system are twofold. First of all, it opens the door for registered voters or guarantor contractors to guarantee and vouch for persons who are less than 18 years old. Secondly, it allows these guarantors to vouch for persons who are not citizens of Ghana. Such unqualified persons, usually minors and foreigners, use the door of the guarantor system to try to get onto our register.
the National Identification Authority boss, Professor Kenneth Atefua, on his part, provided statistics on the number of Ghanaians and the need for a merger of data with the EC.
Based on the Ghana Statistical Service 2020 population and housing census data, approximately 31 million Ghanaians. There are approximately 31 million Ghanaians. Of this number, as I've indicated, 17,375,861 have been captured onto the National Identity Register database. The cohort of the population aged 15 years and above. Of the number, that is, of the 17,375,861, the number of Ghanaians aged 18 years and above captured in the database is 16.9 million. 16.9 million out of the 17.375 million. And the number of registered Ghanaians aged 18 years and above existing on the Electoral Commission's voters register, we are informed, is 17,029,000. 17,029,000 people on the EC voters register. The number of Ghanaians aged 15 years, total population of 31 million, is 2,565,705.
He, however, bemoaned the inability of the National Identification Authority to print out over 500,000 of Ghana cards due to financial constraints.
The number of cards not yet printed, that is, persons who have registered, whose records are with the NIA, but whose cards have not yet been printed, stands at 541,529. Mr. Right Honourable Speaker, kindly permit me to explain that this figure, 541,529, represents the financial difficulties we have had lately, beginning approximately in July, August of last year. That resulted in an inability to get access to some 3.5 million blank cards that we have ordered into the country, which are currently in houses. Brought to the country by our technical partners, but we are unable to access them because of financial constraints. The banks that have basically bankrolled that purchase and importation have to be some headaches. Right Honourable Speaker, the assurance we have for the people of Ghana is that the National Identification Authority has the technical and operational competence to print these 541,529 cards in record time once this financial constipation is relieved.
But the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, assured of efforts to settle all outstanding arrears owed the National Identification Authority.
We agreed on 100 million CD transfer, and as he rightly said, 80 million has been put into the accounts of CAL, and 20 million, as he also mentioned, will be done by close of business today. So we are very comfortable about the situation to ensure that the needed cards will be given to the NIA to do its work. Mr. Speaker, the government has been extremely good about funding elections, and once NIA's job is linked to the elections, Mr. Speaker, we can assure the House that we would ensure that the resources needed would always be provided.
Following the shortage of vaccines across the country, the Health Committee of Parliament invited the sector minister together with heads of agencies Apart from the National Health Insurance Authority, the minister and other agencies had failed to honor the invitation.
Unfortunately for us this morning, the Minister of Health is not here. The Ghana Health Service is not here. The Vaccine Control Program, not here. And we have the National Health Insurance Authority. I'm not aware of the reasons for the absence of the state agencies. I have just been on the phone with the Chief Director of the Ministry of Health and says that she sent a letter to the committee asking for a rescheduling of the date for 7th of March because of the unavoidable absence of the minister. And this is just a phone call that we just had. So I'm yet to cite her letter. I can only speak to this as of now.
The former Minority Chief Whip and a member of the Health Committee of Parliament, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, described the gesture as disrespectful and urged the chairman of the committee to issue a subpoena against the minister to appear at 2 p.m. the same day.
Once you don't get them certain period, you don't get immunized at certain period, you endanger all of us. Because this is something that the children will miss and you cannot easily correct. And if they are not lucky to get those diseases, you only do not lead to higher mortality, but then I just believe that Honorable Chair
Now, turning our attention to illegal mining, government has reiterated its commitment to prosecute Galamsey kingpin Aisha Wan. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abu Jinapo, who disclosed it, said that the prosecution is optimistic about securing a conviction to send a strong signal to all persons violating the nation's laws. There is more in this report filed by Citi News' Anne Shelley Ziwu.
The Lands and Natural Resource Minister Samuel Abu Jinapo says a total of 6 prosecuting witnesses have so far been called in the trial of Chinese Galamsey kingpin Aisha Wan. Aisha Wan is being prosecuted by the state for sneaking into the country and engaging in illegal mining after she was deported. Speaking to journalists at a Meet the Press series in Accra on Tuesday, Samuel Abu Jinapo said the prosecutor is pursuing the case relentlessly.
The matter to do with Aisha Wan, the prosecution is being waged in a very spirited manner. The Attorney General is taking a personal interest into court to witness the proceedings in court, and I can report to you and the country that the prosecution, the state, and at the next agenda date, and that should tell you that the prosecution is being waged in a very spirited manner, because as we said from the very beginning, we want to prosecute this matter with the vigor that it requires, so that it will serve a clear signal both in the country and outside the country, and particularly the countries where we have most of the troubles when it comes to illegal small-scale mining, that Ghanaian law will be applied and applied to the letter. So be rest assured that the prosecution is being waged and being waged relentlessly. And we are hoping that when it's all said and done, we will secure a conviction, and therefore justice will be done for the good people of Ghana. So
the minister also noted that despite government's effort at tackling illegal mining and its devastating effect on our water,
currently reclamation is ongoing in over will be rolled out and is expected to provide training for some 5,000 youth in agriculture, technical, vocational, industrial, and mining skills. These gamut of measures have yielded some positive results, with most of our river bodies visibly clearing up and the turbidity levels improving. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not to suggest that we have rid our country of illegal mining. We have not. As we speak, the cartels involved in these illegalities continue to operate and are finding every means to outwit us. But we will continue to adopt the necessary measures to ensure that we come to grips with this canker. Let me assure the country, on behalf of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that we will not relent on our efforts in this noble undertaking.
The sector minister was also hopeful surviving victims of the Apiate explosion will be moved back into their community before the end of the year. According to the minister, phase 1 of the Apiate reconstruction project is 40% complete.
Following the tragic Apiate construct the community into a modern, green, and sustainable community as a model. And the first phase four housing units made up of 2 to 7 bedroom houses, a school block with sanitary facilities, and the construction of roads within the community. 106 of the housing units and a 6-unit classroom block are at different stages of completion, with some being roofed as we speak. We are hoping to move the victims of this tragic incident from their temporary accommodations back to their community before the end of the year. The recommendations of the Health and Safety Committee, established after the incident, chaired by the Vice-Chancellor of George Park Grant University of Mines and Technology, UMAT, Professor Richard Amankwa, are also being implemented and has led to a lot of reforms in the sector. A comprehensive review of the regulations on explosives, the Minerals and Mining Explosives Regulations 20 been completed and will soon be laid before Parliament.
Now, commuters and drivers are calling for the immediate reintroduction of the collection of road tolls to avert the rate at which articulated trucks use some lanes leading to the toll booths as parking and resting spaces. The government says it will reintroduce the tolls on selected roads in the country this year. But these commuters who use the Tema Toll Plaza stretch on the Accra-Tema motorway lament the actions of the articulated drivers make plying the road scary. Citi News' Kennedy Chumesi and Victoria Bunto have more in the following report read by Charles Osukumi.
When you reach night, they park their cars here. So what we want the government to do is the government should come to come help these people to even at the toll booth. They have to bring the toll booth back.
Musa Muhammad's concern for the immediate reintroduction of the collection of road tolls is in tangent with other drivers and commuters. Before the cessation was effected on November 18, 2021, drivers who used the Tema Toll Plaza on the Accra to Tema motorway used all 6 lanes, but drivers are now forced to use just 3.
This lane has blocked, the other one has blocked. Level, how many? About 3 of them. Left they remove this lane and then leave the other lane twice. Okay. It's not fine. To me, I don't know, but to me they're so good. Yes.
So, how long has this been, the parking? How long, when did it start?
Well, some of them comes, maybe the agent will call them and they will go. Some will come today and go today. Some will park about, let's say, 2 to 3, 4 days, they are there.
To see our accident, I say, car machine be or quechi aba can about one say I never pay Yaka Kranaka can I on say Omo Pomu in Africa, whatever Dana Bibia a day.
Because we say Hanum here 7 lanes. Now so that's not for about 4.
Oma for my friend now. Almost if Papa say hanging out with you.
Truck drivers and used as resting spots and school. Were captured washing their clothes on the road. Kojo is delivering a truckload of bags of rice to Burkina Faso.
I think there is no parking place. So when here we can be parking here for them to wait for another thing so that can continue the journey.
So because parking space not there, and that's why you can't park for motor.
Yeah.
But they park for motor.
Yeah, but you yourself, parking place is not there. So if there is no parking place, you have to park here. Yeah, because of the parking place. So I'm a mate. So to me like this, it's not because there is no parking place for us. So in case when we just came here, we have to park because we can't park on a place that too close. So that's why that we are parking. So when we get parking place, everybody can be parking there, but there is no parking place. We have to be parking here. Yeah.
Some parts of toll booths on the Accra, others have been removed completely. Electrical lines in the booths have also been disconnected and destroyed. However, even though these articulated truck drivers who have parked on the Temato Plaza stretch admit wrongdoing, they attributed the cessation of the collection of road tolls as the basis for their actions.
Into Muyana said to Sababaka. Yafan said to Nuantina, a Yantimicano, no Mujukan, our two limp, and Antrili, Nay Hagin, into Tono Banasi, as a Tono Basai Juma, Catherine in Amon Paquas, and Elquan Adam. And you must study the traffic to meet Chia Ubako as some Baba or person parking or Queche Benim or no Chucky traffic.
In view of this, commuters want the appropriate authorities to immediately put measures in place to remove the trucks as the government prepares to reintroduce toll collection. They also believe the action, when taken, will prevent the rampant accidents that occur on the stretch.
There are plenty cars being parked, and if I can say some small things about it, I can say it is not good because normally it used to cause accidents. So they have to tell them something to find somewhere parking. If not, it will lose people's life. Because in this moment like this, they park it. But if it reaches evening like this, then they park at the roadside. Then the road become very quiet.
Government says it is coming this year, but we don't know the exact date that is coming. How soon do you want it?
Like if it has come. About let's say in a month and or in 2 months and so it will do to me, because without the tool, how are they going to do the work to maintain the road?
So you believe that when the tolls come back, these tractors will not park over here?
No. If the toll is working, they will not park. If they come and the toll is will they park? They will not come. Even they will not come this way. This is their park. If you come, it has full, then you will find a different place.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. I'm Frema Edunyame. Still to come. April 4, 2023 as date to start hearing the case involving 3 officials of the Northern Development Authority, NDA, and a private businessman who was standing trial over procurement breaches. We'll be back shortly. Do stay.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hisense, yet yes, Ensuto, Nanso form da so yedi. Nesenti, Yasha Bibi Sunko Pradia Mamo. Yatuni Din say, Hisense Super Promo. Yanyamane Buono, Yasa Shini Nebio. Impoya Fasompo, a year free so, said your bayan for so dear mount. Yakono first come, first serve. And Yamano San, na San, Hisense Super Promo. Away showrooms in na. I will Ghana for na. Hisense one amount 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Yenema border from change yakenina. A change yakenina. Hisense, change yakenina. Na ye papa change yakenina. Kayo, every 28 February, I call him 8 March. A Hisense Super Promo. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Hello again. Now, some prospective Form 1 senior high school students are yet to begin their second cycle education following challenges with the school placement process. Now, schools reopen on Monday, February 27 for freshers to enroll in their assigned schools. However, some students are yet to sort out their concerns at the various free SHS solution centers for onward placement. Citi News' Kwekwe Jama Ansa has monitoring the situation at the NAT Center in Accra.
Right, so exactly as we know, school has reopened for individuals who are going to the second cycle institutions, that is the senior high schools. However, not all prospective students are in school at the moment because of some challenges that these individuals have encountered with regard to the school placement system. Some of them do not have placement at all, and so they have been looking forward to be placed in one school or the other. Others also have schools, but they're calling for different placements for themselves. And for some, they are also battling the gender status issues amongst other challenges. Well, assurances have been given by the Free SHS Secretariat on it working assiduously to remedy this situation. But some parents are still not happy, and for some of them, they have still been thronging the various resolution centers which have been set up by the Secretariat in the various parts of the country. Some parents are calling for the Free SHS Secretariat to work assiduously and urgently to be able to remedy this challenge.
He chose TVET schools, but there is no school for him.
Why? What was his argument?
22. I grade 22.
And then which schools did you
Choose Kufodia Technical Institute and Sun Technical, and I've forgotten the other 4. Mm-hmm. But there's no school for him.
So what's the next step? What's the plan?
Information from here is that schools from Central Region, Eastern, Greater Accra is full. So we have to choose school from other regions. So last time I was here, we chose school from Volta region, 3 schools. But still, we haven't got any response from them.
So on Monday, one individual was arrested by the police at the Nat Hall for defrauding some parents and capitalizing on the frustrations of parents who want to get their awards placed in their preferred schools. And the Free SHS Deputy Coordinator has been given an update on this situation. She has also been calling on parents to move away from giving monies to third parties to work on their preferred school placements.
But he claims he's an agent, so we need to know the exact person that he's been working with. So if he sends it to maybe our technical people for them to work it for him or something, we need to know, get to the bottom of it and then fish the person out. Resolving their issues for them. They are coming with the same issues. We will resolve, they will write the schools, we will solve it for them. They will come back, they won't change of school and the rest. But you know, it's human. We are trying to just calm them down and then we will make sure we fix them on the system. Maybe they wouldn't get their preferred school, but
in the technical and vocational sector to also have that opportunity to go to such schools, and we have been getting an update or a briefing on this.
We're recording high turnout for TVET in the whole of the country. Already Greater Accra, the Eastern region and the Central region TVET institutions are being oversubscribed with inflows going into the Volta and Ashanti region as well. And so far so good. The process has been very smooth. Day in, day out, parents and the awards are being satisfied with the process being carried out here at the Nat Hall in Accra. Equally, there are other centers in all the regions being manned by officials of the Free SHS and Free TVET Secretariat.
So the Free SHS Secretariat has indicated that it is going to still pitch camp at the various centers it has already established, at least for 6 weeks, to be able to work or remedy some of these challenges that have come up with regard to the school placement system. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
Now, the High Court in Tamale has set April 4, 2023 as the date to start hearing the case involving 3 officials of the Northern Development Authority, NDA, and a private businessman who are standing trial over procurement breaches. Now, according to the court, it will continue the hearing of the case on 5th and 6th April as well. The court process follows an investigation conducted by the Office of the Special Prosecutor on alleged corruption and corruption-related offences leveled against the 4 persons. Our Northern Regional Correspondent, Dinah Ngwan, reports.
The court on Tuesday, 28 February 2023, during the case management conference, went through all the documents filed and mentioned in the witness statement. The prosecution stressed that it intends to rely on the witness statement during the court proceedings. After the case management conference, counsel for the accused persons and the state prosecutors told the court they were satisfied with the process. All 4 accused persons were present in court. Here is the counsel for the second and third accused persons, Joseph Pemka, speaking after Tuesday's proceedings.
I've gone through all the documents the state intends to rely on from the beginning to the end of the trial. And the case has been appropriately adjourned to 4th, 5th, and 6th of April for definite hearing. The state will call the first witness and give the testimony for counsel to be able to cross-examine So basically today's business was for CMC or case management that has been done successfully by all counsel for the accused persons.
Okay.
They have been appropriately corrected, and those that are not available will be made available to counsel at the right date as indicated by the Honorable Court. So as I indicated, on the 4th, 5th and 6th, we will begin the fireworks from then. The testimonies will begin to flow and the cross-examination will consequently also follow. Then the case will take its course until the determination is fully carried out.
The criminal prosecution of the four follows a directive by the Office of the Special Prosecutor after an investigation was conducted into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences at the Northern Development Authority. This was in relation to a contract awarded Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program. The complaint, which was filed by a private legal practitioner, Martin Pebu, accused the Chief Executive Officer of the NDA businessman of procurement breaches.
Now, some members of parliament and stakeholders on constitutional matters have shared varied opinions on calls for the amendment of the 1992 constitution. Now, speaking at the second edition of IEA seminar on the 1992 constitution review, the member of parliament for Abuakwa South, Samuel Atachia, held a view that the constitution gives the president too much power in opposing some key decisions taken by parliament. Fred Duho has more in the following report.
The Member of Parliament for Abuakwa South, Samuel Atachia, has called for the Article 82, Section 5, among other articles in the 1992 Constitution to be amended. He argues that some provisions in the 1992 Constitution grant the President too much powers, which renders Parliament inefficient in making some critical decisions. Quoting the Constitution to anchor his opinion at the second seminar organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, under the theme strongly objects to the aspects of the Constitution which suggests that the President may keep a minister found incapable by Parliament, which has oversight responsibility over the executive.
I cannot see one member of Parliament who is a minister and is strong enough to defy the President. I'm going to vote against the budget of your appointor. So I believe humbly that that amendment is very beneficial to good governance. So people would do proper legislation and will not fear the modern pharaohs, you know. So when you fuse it, then it's like you are tied to the dictates of big men. I don't mean any other particular one, but whoever is elected and is doing that. I think, let me probably not take all the time. My last sense of the amendment is censuring a minister. This may be found on Article 82.5. If you have the minister censured, but the president might still keep him. I don't know whether I should read it. Yes, please let me read it, because it's a bit of an outrageous proposition that the president will keep a minister that Parliament hates. And how can you do serious business with this kind of obtuse arrangement?
Speaking on the subject of constitutional amendments, the first Deputy Speaker, Joe Osei-Wusu, espoused that despite the defects or shortcomings of the current constitution, an amendment may not necessarily lead to the expected leadership and development anxiously desired by the citizens. Hence the need to rather consider a national orientation that side the Ghanaian to seek the best values to develop.
How many people, Ghanaians, know and can recite even the directive principles of state policy? This constitution is 30 years old. But even for the adults here, I'm sure many of us, unless you are litigating or you're invited to make a speech, you may not remember the details of that. So, if it is important to us, how come we have not disseminated it so far? I think that it's not sufficient to put words in the Constitution. What we want to achieve, we should make everyone, every Ghanaian, understand his or her role. So, I suggest that we should adopt a national orientation program and propagate it with religious zeal.
The Minister of State Designate for the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Osei Bonsu-Amoah, added his voice to the conversation on the call for the constitutional amendment, where he touched on the electoral and local government systems.
A member of the minority. If you look at the Constitution Review Commission of Inquiry report and the white paper, one recommendation is that subsidiary legislation should be looked at and the provisions amended. It will surprise you to know that even for some members of parliament, they don't pay much attention to subsidiary legislation.
You're still live on the National Electoral Commission of Nigeria to cancel the 2023 presidential election results. We have the details coming up shortly. Do stay.
That's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from your village? This season of all things Ghanaian is upon us, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hot too. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 a.m. each day. The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Voltic Ghana Limited and Malta Guinness.
Hello again. Now, the Volta regional capital of Ho is set to host the 66th National Independence Day celebration. This will be the 4th National Independence Day celebration to be held outside the national capital, Accra, following President Akufo-Addo's directive to rotate the national celebrations across various regional capitals. Now, during a courtesy call on the Volta Regional House of Chiefs to break the news to the region's traditional leaders, leader of the delegation, Lord Comey, said the president requests the blessings of the traditional leaders for a successful celebration. There is more in this report.
So the Volta region is getting ready to host the rest of Ghana to celebrate the 66th Independence Day celebration of Ghana. The event will be held at Adaklu, Chirepe, which is where the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center is situated. The Youth Resource Center is now said to be about 94% complete. Our understanding is that by Monday, which is the 6th of March, the facility will be 100% ready, at least the second phase of it, to host the celebration. Beyond it, roads are being patched, street lights are being fixed, and flags are being hoisted, getting the momentum aroused in readiness for the celebration. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yao-Lecha, says that all is set for the celebration.
We are still working very hard, putting one or two things together. The committees are working, the grounds committee, events committee, security committee, protocol committee, finance committee. All of them are working, health committee, and so on and so forth, entertainment and cultural committee. So we are in contact with Accra, the National Planning Committee. I can say with confidence that we are almost there. There's still some work to be done, but the main grounds for the parade is ready. The washrooms are all set, and people will be coming from Accra. The state protocol will be coming to help us set up the place finally. We're going to raise some canopies also to allow more people to sit and more people to stand. So we are also working on invitations.
So beyond the regular parade that we see at such events, there is going to be tourism tours, biking, hiking, and a lot of several other activities here in the Volta region just to enrich the celebration. Some celebrities or media personalities from the Volta region were in the region and toured several of these tourist attractions in order to bring awareness to such facilities and build a momentum towards the celebration. So one of such tourists hosts several participants of this year's Independence Day celebration is the Amejope Canopy Walks. The DCE for the area, the Honorable Victor Ernest Apau, says the community is ready for tourists.
Visit Ho West, experience Africa, even beyond Ghana. Now, the interesting opportunities for investment that we can see in Ho West is the key one now is the tourism potentials that we have. The sectors within the tourism value chain that you can invest in, we're talking about, apart from the rest stops and others, you have potential for organic foods. And the organic foods, you can see our land is less depleted compared to many other parts of this country. So we have taken strategic position, local policies, bylaws, and at the assembly level to protect some of the areas. Now we are working on 5 organic communities in Ho West, where the people will not use these poly bags and others, where chemical fertilizers and others will not be used. So 2 communities, Honuta and Puerta, has subscribed now. So we are working to make sure that by the end of this year, we would have launched the full bylaw. The locals will begin to get benefits.
The Honorable Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yao-Lecha, says that he's expectant that the entire community here in the Volta region will cash in on the celebrations, and also hopes that there will be a launch of the Volta Fair 2023 right after the Independence Day celebration.
We also think that businesses in town are getting ready, because we're talking also about local economic development. We want the businesses also to make cash as people come. But they leave some money behind, and that's good. But that should not be the end of it. We also want to market our potentials in agribusiness, in tourism, ICT, so that people who have fond memories of the Volta region when they come And at the end of the day, we want more investments. We want to open up the region more for people to come and add to the economy of our region and for that matter, our country. We want jobs created, wealth to be created. So that is the essence of the whole thing. We want to leverage on hosting of this anniversary to also, after that, we're going to launch the Volta Fair 2023. And we are also on our campaign with our brand ambassador. So it's actually Volta to the world, Volta to the world, Volta to the world. And we can't thank the president enough for this honor and privilege that he has bestowed on us. And we are hoping that the Almighty God will help us, will keep us healthy and strong, so that come Monday, we'll put up a great show to the admiration of Ghanaians and the global community.
Now, moving beyond Ghana, pressure is mounting on the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, INEC, to cancel the 2023 presidential election results. Now, this follows concerns raised over failure of the INEC to upload the results on its platform before collation and announcement. Two of the three leading parties, People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, believe this alleged flaw in the transmission of the results indicts the integrity of the elections. There is more in this report.
It's been 2 days since the Independent National Electoral Commission commenced collation of national presidential results. Results from about 13 states are reported to have been announced by the INEC at its collation center in Abuja. Of these 13 states, the APC is leading in 6 of them, PDP has 5 of them, and 2 are held by the Labour Party. The states held by the APC, whose candidate is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are Ekiti, Oyo, Kwara, Ogun, Ondo, and Jigawa. PDP, on the other hand, is leading in Osun, Yobe, Gombe, and Katsina. Peter Obi surprisingly led in Lagos State, which is a favorite of Tinubu and Enugu. This means that the INEC is left with over 20 states more to officially collate and announce. But as the country and the continent by extension wait with bated breath for the final declaration, there is concern as to whether the process may be slowed by protests coming from some of the political parties. Allegations of corruption and manipulation have been rife since Saturday, and the alleged failure of the INEC to upload the results on its IRF platform have caused a number of Nigerians to be concerned. For instance, former President Olusegun to address the nation on some of these concerns.
He can do everything to rectify the errors of the last 2 days. No beavers, no result to be acceptable. And no uploading through server, no result to be acceptable. Whereas beavers and servers have been manipulated or rendered inactive, such result, where beavers and servers have been manipulated or rendered inactive, such results must be declared void and inadmissible for election declaration.
The INEC, in a statement on Sunday, however, clarified that the delay in uploading the results to its viewing platform was due to technical hitches, but was quick to add that there were no sabotage or manipulation of results.
I like the suggestion made that the Commission has power under the Electoral Act to review results, but that power is contingent upon one procedure. The process has to be concluded first before you can then talk about power to review. I want to assure political parties that any evidence that you have of any alleged wrongdoing at any level of the process, whether it's at the polling unit or at collation level, please forward this information. And I promise you, as soon as the process is concluded, we'll then do the review as provided by law.
But it appears some of the parties have taken the assurance with a pinch of salt. On Monday, the PDP and Labour Party representatives at the Coalition Centre walked out of the process for same concerns. Pursuant to this, there has been a joint press conference by the PDP and Labour Party asking the INEC to cancel the election result for failure to upload the results on the viewing platform.
All election results must be transmitted at the polling unit level. And that is the basis, is those results from the over 176,000 units that we can use through the process of collation. So if you have not transmitted those results, it means that you have actually not conducted the election under the very law that we all applauded. So the right thing to do is for the INEC chairman to truly go forward and cancel the election.
And that's how we wrap up. This has been the Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more news updates. Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Free Dynamic. Many thanks for your time.